I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the breadsticks in the oven. So while the meat is cooking, I should have got a longer pan. The breadsticks can also be cooking. So this is about 6 breadsticks. And this is the brand that I'm using. Far as breadsticks, purchased this from Publix. So I had already had my oven on the preheat. So we'll put that in there. Also, this is the little bowl I'll be using to put my bell pepper, onion, and all that good stuff in there. This will be a real quick video. I haven't been on in a minute because I've been so busy. Let's get all this stuff off of here first. I hope everyone is having a good afternoon. I'm just getting started because I want to hurry up where I can relax. So I'm cutting my onion up, getting all the outer layers off of here. I'm gonna tell you a secret to onion, and you probably already know this. You know, the onions make you cry. So what you do, peel it. And then I always take it and cut it in half like this. And then I'm going to take it and run it under some cool water. That actually eliminates like the, you know, from it burning your eyes. And you guys probably already know that. Wash it off real good. I'm gonna be going over some ingredients that's gonna make this. The reason why I say this is gonna be healthy. So instead of using beef, I'm gonna be using chicken breast. So I have about 4 of these. It's about, and the packs is little. That's why I have 4. So it's about 4 of us eating it in the house. I'm the only girl, so all boys. And also, I've started using the pot-sized noodles. These are much easier to manage. But anytime I make my spaghetti, I do a separate pot. I mean, I do the sauce in one pot, and I do the noodle, and I boil the noodles in one pot. When I was coming up, my grandma would put everything together. I'm not doing it like that because I'm going to eat a different noodle because I'm trying to watch my carbs. So I'll be doing mine with Miracle Noodles. And as you can see, there's 5 calories, 1 gram of the net carbs. So if I eat this whole pack, this pack serves two people, as you can see there. And 5 calories. So if I eat this whole pack, it's 10 calories, which is not bad. So as you can see, let me put it closer. You have the 3 grams of carbs, 2 fiber. You always subtract the fiber from the carb, which is 1 gram. That's where you get this number from. So if I eat this whole pack, it's only 2, which is pretty good. And this is some of the instructions. The ingredients is paleo and keto friendly, 0 sugar. So this is a pretty good noodle to use. So these 2 items here makes it healthy. And because the chicken breast, there's no oil in the chicken breast. I also use a particular olive oil, but as you can see, you can use this for tacos, pasta, rice, as it states there, rice bowls, anything. And I'm going to be putting a little bit of this inside the chicken breast because there's no oils. This is a smooth olive oil, as it states here, so you don't get that hard pressed taste like you would a lot of the other olive oils. And of course, I like to put like 1 or 2 bay leaves in the sauce. So my family will be eating the regular pot size noodles. And whoever came up with this, I think it was an awesome idea. Sometimes I like the longer noodles, but these are good. And then I like to include this in my spaghetti. This makes it taste good. And of course, I use a bell pepper. And I also use the onion, which I stated for those of you that's maybe coming in, you cut the onion in half and run it over some cold water. That eliminates it from burning your eyes. This is the sauce I'll be using, but I don't know if I'm gonna use this one because I have another sauce that I got from Costco. It's like a BJ's or Sam's here in Florida, which some of you guys may have it. This one is pretty good too. This is basil, so I'm not sure yet. We'll see. So what I'm gonna do is I got my water boiling, as you can see, for my noodles. And this right here, this doesn't take much, but what I like to do with these, you can put them in a microwave, you can put it on a stove. I like to do this, the option I always opt. I put a little bit of like olive oil, the same olive oil, but I just showed you, in like a little stainless steel skillet. I have a little small skillet, which let me show you that. I haven't did a live in a minute, guys. I've been really busy. I like to use this skillet, and this is pretty good. And I'll just kind of go over it a little bit, and it tastes really good. And sometimes I like to put a little bit of sesame oil in it, just to give it, where it's not so bland. And this is the sesame oil I like to use. I do use just a little bit. And you can eat those noodles with anything. You can actually do just a regular chicken breast on the side and eat it if you're someone that's trying to avoid carbs. So that's why my title is A Healthier Way. So I'm actually making 2 meals in one because my family is not trying to watch carbs, but I am. So instead of making all these meals, I just decided to make 1 meal, but I separate the noodles, and that's just that. So let's go ahead and put some more water in my pot because I let the water boil down. Give me a minute, guys. I'm gonna put more water. And I got my breadsticks in the oven. And if you go back to the beginning of the video, once the live's in, you can see, well, I can show you guys. I'm going to use this also, put my vegetables in. I'll show you guys what kind of breadsticks I use. Nothing fancy. I won't be eating breadsticks. I'll just eat the spaghetti. So this is what I use. And you could get this at any store. Just about. This brand is pretty good. And I like the one with the cheese in it sometimes, but I didn't get that. So, thank you for that light. There's 2 people in here, but once the video ends, let's cut this on. Let's put this here just to get the ball. Let's cut that on. And then what we're gonna do again, I told you, because the chicken breast doesn't have I'll be using 4 of these again for those of you that's coming in. So this is what makes it healthy. You can read it there. And then again, I'll be using the Miracle noodles for myself. So that's my personal noodles, and for the family I'll be using this, the pot size. But because the chicken breast doesn't have much oil, again, this is the olive oil that I use. You can see it. So we'll go ahead and just coat the bottom. And the reason why they say smooth, because you know, like sometimes when you get that olive oil, you have that like hard press taste. That's not like that. It's very smooth. You won't even know that you're eating olive oil. I can't stand the olive oil. I don't like to use the word hate, but I can't stand the olive oil that has that taste like that they put on your forehead at church when you get baptized or something. I don't like that particular. And I don't cut my vegetables small at all. I'm not a cooker that wastes time, because I want to relax. Even though I wash these off, I'm gonna still like rewash them again. Let's put them in there. Let's put that in there. Let's put all that in there. And then I got my olive oil on. And of course I cut the pan on high. So we'll go ahead and wash these off and let these saute while I'm cooking up the bell pepper. Oops. So I like to put my vegetables in first and kind of cook them down. And then we'll let it drain in here. And then I like to, y'all don't pick at me because I'm not going to cut this small. I ain't going to cut it. I ain't going to leave it, of course, this big, but it's not going to be small, like I tell you. So we'll go ahead and put that all in there. Spaghetti is very easy to, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to make spaghetti. That's why I decided that would be our dinner for today. Let's cut that up to get this to get that to going. And we'll use a little bit more olive oil. Once my water starts boiling, look, all the bread almost finished. Once my water starts boiling, then I go ahead and put the noodles in. See, I ain't gonna cut them up real big. And when these cook down and you stirring the meat and all that, it's gonna cook down. I'm like, and I got a vegetable cooker, but I'm like, vegetable cutter. I don't like cutting up onions and bell peppers. Sometimes I actually buy them cut up. But I'm like, you know what? I've did that a couple of times, and when you buy them things cut up, you don't know if they good at the bottom, and then sometimes I don't like how they taste, so I just always kind of like do it myself. I'm not going to use this because I don't want to add too many bell peppers in it. So my onions is cooking down. Pink is my favorite color, so you'll see a lot of things pink. Just a FYI. So the water to start boiling. So let's go ahead and put our noodles in. I already got oil in the pan, in the pot, but let's put a little bit more. Just so those noodles don't stick. And this feeds about 8 people. Some people like whole spaghetti noodles. I don't have anything against them. But I just find this to be a little bit easier for me. And also, I went on here and cooked 2 boxes. So this will feed about 16 people, 8 servings per box. Because I'm cooking for 3 boys. So my boys, they eat a lot. And then they can have some for leftovers tomorrow. So let's cut these a little smaller. Y'all can see. And then we'll take this. I hope y'all don't judge me for cutting these things so big. I'm gonna wash these off again. I had already cleaned it, but let's put this here. Let's wash it off again. We'll let it sit in there so it kind of. I gotta put this down. I'm gonna take the noodles and kind of spread them. I'm gonna take the breadsticks out now. They almost burnt. That's the breadsticks. So these had already had garlic on them. What I'm gonna do, I always use, I cannot believe it's butter. And even this is a 0. You see it? No calories. But I love me some, I cannot believe it's butter. So we'll just spray those. Even though it came with the garlic butter on there. It smells so good. We'll cover this. The breadsticks are finished. And I'll sit these over here. Now we'll go ahead and put our, we'll go ahead and include our bell pepper. So I only use half of a bell pepper, but I use onion. I use the whole onion. I'm just kind of stirring the noodles around so it doesn't, make sure it doesn't stick. Let's cut that on. And of course, anytime you cook, always wipe up, clean up behind yourself as you're cooking. Okay, so now we're going to include the chicken. And again, I have 4 of these because the packs is not that big. So feeding young men, and really I could have used 6, but 4 would be good. And this is how it looks. We're going to use 4. And we'll put seasoning and all that good stuff in it. So we gotta cut this. I'm gonna see, this may be enough. Because by the time I add the sauce and all that stuff in it. Let's put some pepper, Himalaya salt. I'm almost out, but I got a fresh one in here. I love to use this. I'm gonna use a little bit of that. I like to use a little bit of garlic powder. And I put like a couple teaspoons of spaghetti, sugar in my spaghetti also. We use a little bit of complete seasoning. Of course, you want your food to taste flavorful. Or flavor. I don't even know if flavorful is a word. And I like to use also Italian seasoning. I love Italian seasoning. I did a video that's explaining. I made a homemade pizza on one of my videos. I put on there. Let's cut this off. How I love Italian seasoning. And don't forget, if you want to try this chicken breast, which some of you probably has already tried it, it's the same as if you use turkey instead of beef. I don't eat pork or beef. So, and because my family doesn't mind eating either, versus making 2 meals, I kind of like sum it up just to one. Don't forget to use the olive oil in this. Even if you use turkey, this is the olive oil. Because, again, basically what happens is, now this pan, this is a good pan. It's like a pan that doesn't stick. Let's cut that up a little bit. But if you use like some of those, if you don't use like a good frying pan, it can kind of stick. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this other one in here. So I use 4 packs. Let's put some more. I was looking for my black pepper. I'm gonna open this side. I got so much seasonings in here. And I'm gonna put a little bit more garlic because I added that extra pack. So we want to make sure it's well seasoned. And then I'm gonna put a little bit more. What is spaghetti or pizza without Italian seasoning, right? And then because you're using that chicken, because you're using the chicken meat, I think it's good to include that. I have some broccoli how they cook. And I'm also put some parsley in there. I like to buy this parsley and sprinkle. Get a little bit of parsley in there. It won't hurt. This smells good. I mean, with the seasoning and all of that stuff included. It's a really nice smell. And this is a very easy meal. You really could cook spaghetti in 30 minutes. Especially if you put the water on in advance, and probably less than, well, I get about 30. Because you put the seasonings and all that stuff. Probably about 30 minutes. And you want to make sure that you're grinding meat, regardless of what meat you use. You use turkey, you use beef, you use the pork. Always make sure your meat is cooked. You know, everything is cooked properly. And the meat is really cooked, because you don't want to get sick off of you know, meat not being cooked properly. So something is burning. I don't know what this is. Let's take that off. I need to get a I do this just to make sure these noodles, like everything is cooking and it's not sticking. And when you're cooking your spaghetti noodles, I always add a little bit of salt and also oil to the pan. You can even put butter. I like a lot of sauce in my spaghetti too. I'm just making sure that the meat is cooked properly. And I was looking for the I'm gonna include these two seasonings. Just a little bit of these too. This is great seasoning. It's just like a Caribbean seasoning, which I love. Just give it a good taste too. And then we'll just use a little bit of this. There's a lot of meat here, so we want to make sure it's seasoned properly. So the noodles is coming along pretty good. And I'll drain these and put them in a tin little pan, because I always mix this separately, because remember, I'm not going to eat the regular noodles. This noodle is sticking here. That's okay, we'll break it up. Let's cut this down. I'm just making sure the noodles is not sticking. I know when I was coming up as a child, sometimes I do cook the noodles together. Oh, that's what that smell was. Meat fell on the eye. I'll clean it once I finish. But sometimes I make like baked spaghetti. And I put, you know, the cheese on the top. I make it almost like a mac and cheese. And when I do it like that, it's pretty good. And then when you're making it like that too, I think the best noodles to use, I cut this down. This is a higher eye. The thing is piping. You can smell the garlic in this. I'm going to put some crushed peppers in it too, just to give it like a little kick once I add the sauce to it. And all of this stuff is optional. You can put whatever you want to put in your spaghetti. But this is how we're looking so far. And once you put that sauce and all of that in, I'm telling you, I remember when I first started making spaghetti. When I first made it, and I didn't make it with beef, I made it with turkey. Let me turn the camera a little bit. And my husband was like, I'm not going to eat that. So one day I made it, and I didn't tell him I used turkey. I let him eat it first. And then I said, you know what that was? And he was like, what? I say turkey. And he was like, it was pretty good. I'm going to use the rest of this. I'm also use this adobo. So see, sometimes you don't know what you'll like. I'm surprised they put that look at the seasoning back in there. Sometimes you don't know what you'll like until you try it. But ever since then, nobody can tell the difference. And when you use chicken or turkey, you don't have to worry about all that grease and that oil and, you know. I'm going to taste a piece just to make sure it's seasoned properly. That tastes good. And chicken also make its own water. Look. But we're going to leave all that in there. We're going to leave that in there with the salt. We're not going to drain it. If you ever try this and you want to drain yours, that's fine. But to me, the natural seasonings and juice, well, not seasoning, I'm sorry, the natural juices from the chicken, it give it the taste. Now, if I was doing like a chicken, like the whole chicken breast, I was boiling it, and then you know how it makes like that filmy taste, filmy substance in the pot, then I wash it off. But because I'm doing it, you know, because I'm making it like this, the spaghetti, I'm not going to wash it off. I'm not going to even lie to you. Let's check on our noodles. I cut the noodles down because they were like this one right here need to break up. And I just do like this on the side, just to and this is the garlic bread. Let's move this out the way for those of you. If you're still in here, I don't know, it's one person, but they'll go back and watch the video. I just wanted to put a video out there because I haven't did a video in a while. And I'm like, I won't be on here too long with the... So this is just the garlic bread. Simple garlic bread. I won't be eating any bread. I just do my miracle noodles. And the spaghetti. And that would be enough for me. Let's cut this up a little bit more. But the noodles ain't cooking at all now. I cut them down because it was falling everywhere. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add this. This is like a paste. Let me let you see it so you'll know. I like to use this, and sometimes I even use the green one. So I like to add this in here before I add my sauce. And just kind of like mix everything together here. Just cut this down. And the meat is still cooking. Because again, we want to make sure that meat is cooked. Let me taste another. I have to taste it when I'm cooking it to make sure everything is coming together. When I use this, I usually use the whole jar. And it gives your spaghetti like the most creamiest taste. If you like, if you like ricotta, I think that's it. I got everything I can get out this jar. So I use the whole little jar. And in this, just I love spicy food. So we're gonna give it some little crushed pepper. I'm getting ready to drain that water off those noodles in a little bit. Where's my crushed peppers? Well, we'll use a little bit of cayenne. And you know what? I'm not gonna use crushed peppers. You know what I'm gonna use? I forgot that I have some if I can find it. I got some dried peppers, which is even better than crushed peppers. Dried chili peppers. We'll put about 2 of these in there because it'll give it like a little spicy kick. So we'll put that in there. We'll just do 2. I ain't gonna use the cayenne because I don't want to make it too spicy. So let's kind of stir that in where it ball and just a little kick. And I like to put bay leaf. I was gonna use this one, but I have some frozen, which is much fresher than these. These just the dry ones out the store. But I bought some fresh bay leaves, and because I know I was gonna use all of them, I freeze them. So I'll use that. Look, I'm gonna show you. I bought all these. I'm gonna use 2 of them. Well, let's use 3. And this is it. It was fresh baby. So when I knew I was gonna use all of them, and I need to actually take these out, which I'll do that once I finish my line in the Ziploc bag. I have like the Ziploc bag that will will keep them. So I'm gonna wash these off because they was frozen. And this is the bay leaf. Let's move this over so you guys can see. So we'll take that and just put that on in there. We got our peppers, bay leaf, and I'm just chopping that meat up. Let's move this out the way. Look how we looking now. So let's clean this pot up a little bit. I don't know, I like food that just look kind of pretty when I'm cooking it. And I clean the stove off really good once I get off live. Okay. So we got our pepper, we got our bay leaf. Oops. So let's do the sauce. Now, in the beginning of the video, I stated I had 2 different sauces. I have this one, and I have this one. And I think I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to use that one. Because this sauce, I've had it before. It's really good. I got this from Costco. That's a wholesale place here in Jacksonville, which Costco is everywhere. And I want to add a little bit more last time I used the other one. I was looking at put some thyme in here, but I don't see what I did with my dry thyme. I got all this Italian sauce. Italian seasoning, I mean. Oh, here it go. I'm going to also include thyme. And I have fresh thyme, too, that I can use. But we're going to use, we're just going to put a little bit of that in there. That's it. We kind of stirred all that around. We got our peppers, our bay leaf. Now, what I always do, I wash these off before I open them in. This for, because you know people be touching them and I just always like to wash them off. Wash the top off. And we're going to use both of these because I like my spaghetti sauce real. I like my spaghetti like real. We got to take them noodles out of there. Real saucy. And we're going to put a little bit of sugar in this too. Just to give it, because this is not, it's not sweet. It's a good taste, but I don't know. We just like spaghetti, like kind of sweet. Throw the rest of that in there. So I use 2 jars. And it's about right because 2 jars feed 6 people, which both of these is for 12 people. So, and I made a big pot so they can have some tomorrow. I'm going to use this to drain my noodles. Let's pull this out. They're ready. And I'll wash those noodles. Anytime you drain your noodles, don't forget to wash them off. Don't just drain them. I let them, and then I'll take the water and just wash it off. And then I put them like in a little tin pan and all that little good stuff. Cut this off. So let's cut this up a little bit so we can bring this to another bowl. And we got our breadsticks. I already cooked the breadsticks, so if you're coming in, you can go back and watch the video. I was going to use another sauce, but I think it's pretty good. This is what we're looking like so far. So, let's put a little sugar in there. I like sugar in my spaghetti. I'm gonna put a couple teaspoons, so y'all don't, and I know this supposed to be healthy, but a couple teaspoons with everything can't be. I'm gonna just be honest, and this is optional. You don't have to do this if you're trying to avoid the sugar, which I am as well. But I'm gonna say this: even if you go to a restaurant or you go to anywhere healthy, everything is not going to be 100% healthy, and I think it's about balance. Now, if you're sitting eating sugar all day, then that's something different. But I think everything is about balance. And a couple teaspoons is not going to hurt, especially depending on your serving size. And I like this particular sugar, you know, and you don't have to put that. You don't have to put sugar. You don't even have to put all the ingredients I use. That's what I use. You know, because people eat differently. And you know, it may be some people saying, oh, I don't make my spaghetti like that, but as long as you like it, there's not a right and wrong way to it. You know? And this spaghetti will also have a little kick to it. because I put those dried peppers in there. And sometimes the sugar take the bitterness out of the spaghetti. Like, and even if you making like homemade spaghetti sauce, because some people, you know, they get the tomatoes and they make it, you know, they make it homemade. If you're making a homemade spaghetti sauce, I would advise you to put sugar in those tomatoes, because tomatoes can be bitter. Especially, I know a lady that makes spaghetti sauce with green tomatoes because she try to avoid the acid reflux. Because you know, people that have acid reflux usually things with citrus, hot sauce, tomato paste, it kind of like trigger it. So she tries. I don't know how that worked for her, but I guess it worked because she's been doing it a while. So she tried to, let's taste the sauce. I just want to make sure it's enough of sugar. Because in this house, we like to taste the sugar. It don't have to be a lot. But spaghetti sauce can be bitter. Let's put 2 more teaspoons. It's a little napkin. I don't want to make a mess. That should be good. So I put about 5 teaspoons. And trust me, I eat like a bird. I probably eat like a little bit of my miracle noodles. This is what I'm gonna eat. Again, I made this is what I will be eating. I made regular noodles for the family, and that's why the video is labeled healthy spaghetti, because we didn't use beef nor pork. We used grind chicken breast. And I'm doing the sauce separate from the noodles because I will be using this particular noodles. And this is the ingredients. So you get 3 carbs per serving, 2 grams of fiber. If you subtract, always when you're watching your calories, subtract your fiber from your carbs, which get 1. That's what this number comes from. So if you eat this whole pack, you're getting 2 grams of net carbs, and you're getting 10 calories. That's not bad at all. And these noodles doesn't taste bad. And for those of you that are on keto or paleo, this is keto, paleo, vegan, plant-based, low calories, gluten-free, grain, soy. There's no sugar, sodium. That's why I say it's all about balance. Me putting this sugar in here is good. Now, when you get the regular spaghetti noodles that I'm using for the family, those have sugar. But like, and I think everything is about balance. You just have to know how to balance stuff. Sometimes we overeat, we overdo it, and that's what makes the calories. You could eat a candy bar, but if you eat one candy bar, sometimes like if I got a taste for something, I don't deprive myself. But if I eat a candy bar, I'll take that candy bar and sometimes like eat 3 servings out of that candy bar, because I slice it like in 3. I'll eat half, maybe today, then a couple of days eat half, just if I'm having that craving, because I don't want to deprive myself from anything. I'm not saying you do that, but that's what works for me. I think once you find out what works for you, then you can manage weight better. You can manage health better. You can manage, blood pressure. Anything you're trying to do, you can manage it better. I could drink some hibiscus tea, which they at one point they was telling me my pressure was high, and I was like, I don't want to take medication. I did let them give me the water pill, which probably as well, but I also started drinking hibiscus juice and tea. I would make it and I actually make juices. I got to come on here one day and show you guys how I make like natural hibiscus juice. I think I got a video. Go back and look at my video. But that's good for high blood pressure. It's good for just any for your stomach. It's good for a lot of things. And I think that's what actually helped me manage my this is parsley. I'm using some more parsley. I think that's what helped me manage my blood pressure. Now my blood pressure is like 123 over 63, 69. It's pretty good. So, and then I lost weight. Once I lost like the pounds I lost, and I didn't lose like no 80 pounds, 70 pounds. You'll be surprised of how much 5 calories, three, not calories, I'm sorry, 3 calories, 5 calories, 10 calories will do for your health. I am going to include just a little bit of this cayenne because I like it like with a little kick. I love spicy stuff. I just put a little bit. So this is basically done. I'm going to put the top over it so it could like simmer, and all of the seasonings and sugar and peppers that I use and bay leaf, everything could just soak in. And if you wanted to put some Parmesan on top of this, even sprinkle you some cheese, you can. You could just eat this over rice if you didn't want to use the pasta. Let me wash my noodles off. Anything you want to do, it doesn't make it bad. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm cleaning my pasta that I bought. Because even though you bought it, I still like to take it and wash it off. And get all of that starch off of it. Okay, so we'll let that drain. I could have used this, but this is so like artificial to me. So I'm not using that. We'll use this. Just blending in everything. Let's cut this down some, because we'll just let it cook. So all the seasonings and everything can just marinate in there. And just kind of clean the pot up a little bit. So we'll kind of let that, cut it down low, and just kind of let it simmer. Let all the seasonings soak in there. That's basically it. And what I'm gonna do, so you guys can see, I'm getting ready to end this slide. I'll bring the camera a little closer now so you can see how let's take this off. How the spaghetti turned out. So let's see. Excuse my stove. Let's cut this up so you can see. And this is made with turkey ground beef. And again, I will be using the Miracle noodles for mine, but I got regular noodles for the family. So this is how it turned out with me cooking with the grind chicken. And I got my bay leaf. As you can see, the bay leaf is in there. And then I got my little dry pepper just to give it a little kick. That's the pepper. Look how good that look. And once you eat it with that Miracle noodles, it's pretty good. And again, I'm only eating Miracle noodles. My family will be eating the regular noodles. And I'm just letting everything soak, simmer. But this is what we're looking like. If you never cooked spaghetti with bay leaf, try it. But always put the bay leaf in towards the end. And again, this is the dried pepper. Someone that likes spices, just give it a little kick. So these two combined, you got you a hell of a meal. This is what we're looking like. And this is chicken breast, grind chicken breast. You can get it from Publix, Winn-Dixie, Sam's. Some Sam's have it. Costco's have it. It's just a healthier way because you avoid all that grease. Because when you use beef and pork, there's a lot of grease in that. When I used to cook it for the family, I used to actually wash. I would scramble the meat and then wash it off. Try to take all the pork and all of that stuff off. Out. You know. But why do all of that when you can just buy, you know, a meat that's less grease forming and also more healthy for you, more lean, no hormones. And again, Publix sometimes have grind chicken breast. You could get 2 for $10. 5 in the days it's not on sale. It's $5.99, $7.99 a pack. So for those of you that's coming in, go back and watch the beginning of the video. Hit that like button for me, and thank you for watching. I'll try to come back tomorrow with another recipe. If not tomorrow, I'll try to do something. I'll come back when I'm making my juices, my hibiscus tea that's good for high blood pressure, your tummy, just a lot of things. Skin and juice that tastes good, not just because a lot of times when people mention health, people think of things tasting nasty, and that's not always the case. Anyway, everyone that hit that like button, I thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Everyone have a wonderful, safe, calm, and blessed evening. Bye.